Mrs. Preston seemed caring at first, but I soon started to notice quirks in her behavior.
Mindy, spit out the cake and eat broccoli. You should watch your figure.
When we got adopted, we realized that the orphanage was paradise in comparison.
We don't want anyone to see these awful things, do we?
Let us go. I'm begging you.
You're so naive.
My brother and I spent our childhood in a dirty orphanage. When our mom was found in the basement of a local club, doctors didn't manage to bring her back to life, and our grandma refused to take us in, calling us trash. We dreamed of a new family and were ecstatic when the Prestons chose us.
These two are so cute. Honey, let's adopt them.
Little did we know that our life was about to turn into hell when we walked into the Prestons' luxurious mansion. Do you like this place, Bobby? You look scared. Mrs. Preston seemed caring at first, but I soon started to notice quirks in her behavior.
Mindy, spit out the cake and eat broccoli. You should watch your figure.
She tried to turn me into a Barbie doll, and I even liked it at first.
Yes, dye her hair blonde. And I think we also need to make your lashes thicker. Your eyes look kind of dull.
But I soon started to genuinely fear Mrs. Preston.
Your voice is so disgusting. You'd better keep your mouth shut and not say a word until told to.
I quickly got used to not sleeping at night in order to be conscious at all times. Who's here? Mrs. Preston? Is it you? And then, things took an even darker turn.
Put this on and be at the back door in 5 minutes, now.
But why?
You don't get to ask questions. Hurry up.
I was blindfolded and thrown into a car. The next thing I saw was a luxurious mansion I'd never been at before. Where are we?
Shut up and listen to me, you bimbo. Today, you're going to be the gem of the evening. Some people are gathering here tonight, and they'll want to look at you. You must smile for them. Is that clear?
I felt sick to my stomach. I was surrounded by wealthy men, and their predatory stares terrified me.
Hey, beauty. Come a little closer. I want to get a better look at you.
I was exhausted and morally drained by morning. I spent all night smiling and fulfilling the sick wishes and whims of those people.
You made us splash. We're going to do it all again next week.
In the morning, I looked in the mirror and saw strange marks on my shoulders and arms. My whole body was covered in them. I couldn't recall the events of that night, and Mrs. Preston refused to tell me about it. How did this happen to me?
I should tell the clients to be more careful next time. They're not allowed to damage my property.
But my concern for Bobby was far greater. I didn't know where he was taken every night. He became withdrawn and refused to speak to anyone. Sweetie, what happened to you? Another such night became the last straw.
Liza, you can take her for your husband. I'll give you a good discount.
But we are living people, not toys.
Did I just hear a squeak from someone?
And when that wealthy pervert tried to do what she wanted, I snapped. Don't touch me, you sicko. I got in trouble when I returned home. Not only did they forbid me to see Bobby after I dared to disobey, they also made me clean the bathrooms in the entire house. To make matters worse, they also starved me. I'm begging you, give me some water at least.
You'll remember this lesson for a long time.
I knew I had to act fast. Either I saved myself and my brother, or God knows what might happen to us next. I was prepared for the next work night. I stole a phone from one of the security guards and hid it under my dress. When the party was in full swing, I took multiple photos and videos of what was happening. Got you, psychos. When I returned home, I locked myself in the bedroom and sent a whole folder of evidence of my adoptive mother's crimes to the email address of the local police department. I hope the cops are smart enough to check all the facts before they show up to this place. But we weren't going to be freed easily. The chief of police turned out to be a regular at Mrs. Preston's parties.
Mindy, you wench. Why did you upset the chief of police with those photos? I should teach you a lesson. Mr. Roberts, I'm afraid my adoptive daughter can't join us tonight because of her misbehavior. Will you forgive us for this slight inconvenience?
I spent the next week in bed. I couldn't even get up. My adoptive mother kept her word. I learned the lesson well. I can't feel my legs. She's one sick witch. And then I finally made up my mind. I sneaked into her closet and took all the jewelry I could find. I packed our belongings, took Bobby, and sneaked out through the back door while the cooks were receiving a delivery of groceries. Bobby, let's run. This is our chance. We got to the city and I pawned one of Mrs. Preston's rings to buy tickets for me and Bobby. 1 hour later, we were already on the train. I promise you, my dear, you'll never see them again. I'll do everything in my power to keep my word. We moved to a big city and got new passports. Then we flew to Thailand. Our new life starts now. What do you want to do first? But I also wasn't going to let Mrs. Preston get away with what she did to us. Thanks to a group of volunteers, not only did I manage to spread the evidence I'd wisely concealed and kept, I also made sure she was tried and sent to prison.
How dare you? Don't you know who I am? Keep your dirty hands off me.
Yes, sir. The defendant is the woman whose actions caused me and my brother to flee the country. My testimony is nothing but the truth. Not only did Mrs. Preston end up in prison, she also went bankrupt. All of her properties were seized, and Bobby and I were granted an astronomical payout. Bobby, we're finally free and also insanely rich. I freed myself, managed to get justice, and finally started to sleep well at night without fear of someone breaking into my room. Never be afraid to speak up, because only the truth and courage can break the vicious cycle.